Let's go. Legion. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of our Comic Con Community podcast, our first ever episode. My name is Will and I'll be your host today, and joining us we have Allan and Hannah Phillipson and Kim Goldie, all from Community Comic Con. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy days to come and do this podcast. Hello, how's your day going so far?
Yeah, we've just been for some chips in Fleetwood.
Yep.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah,
Nice little Saturday lunch. Like
yeah.
it.
And a little bit of a walk
And
to
a
walk it off.
I wonder. To walk the chips off, yeah.
It's a bit cold for that though. I think I'd stay in the comfort of my own home today. Too chilly. But we've all got our Christmas jumpers on, so we should all be keeping nice and warm. Loving all the Christmas jumpers. Love it. So we're gonna start with I feel only right that we start with Allan, because obviously Allan is the mastermind behind the you are behind the Community Comic Con C.I.C. So Allan, just tell us a bit about the Community Comic Con C.I.C. What is it?
So what a lot of people ask first is what a C.I.C. actually is. It stands for Community Interest Company. Which is basically, it's similar to a charity, but it's not a charity status. It's in between the private sector business and a charity. It's in between there, so it's less red tape than a charity, but you get less rewards as well. But it's still designed for the community, and we're a not-for-profit organisation run 100% by volunteers, so none of us get paid for doing it, and it's really about what we give back to the community. Really, that's what a CIC is, and that's what we've set up. Really, it came about really from my background working within a CIC and within a charity. I worked in the sports industry for Accrington Stanley Community Trust. I'm so
tempted to say it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah,
we've all seen the advert.
Yeah, we've all seen the milk advert. And it's from there, because there obviously was a CIC when I first went there, and then became a charity. And when I first went to a Comic Con, I just was like, why isn't a Comic Con a CIC? Why is there must be somewhere there must be a Comic Con that is a CIC. So I googled it, and there was one up in the Outer Hebrides. Our friends from Orcon, that they became a CIC, but no other. And we're like, felt
like it was a bit odd, wasn't it? Because we were going to Comic Cons like week in, week out, and being like obviously enjoying it and seeing lots of other people enjoying it, and we were just like, I don't understand why these two things don't like come together.
Yeah, but it has done before up in Hebrides, but never in England. So we thought, why not? Let's do it. So it was just a bit of get a bunch of our Comic Con friends who are brilliant at what they do. Get them together and say, what do you think about doing this? And they were all like, yeah, let's have a crack at it and have a do with it. And here we are today.
So you were officially the first CIC Comic Con in the country?
In England, yeah. In England.
Amazing. I mean, that's an achievement in itself. I think, obviously, a lot of the Comic Cons that happen nowadays, they're all run by similar larger companies. And they have staff to pay, and so doing it as a CIC for them is out of the question. But there's no reason why a lot of the smaller ones couldn't follow suit. Yeah.
That was I think, and they have followed suit. So now Luton Comic Con is a CIC now, which they followed suit after us as well. They became one at the end of last year. End of this year. Yeah, so just come, I think. And there's others that have contacted us and said, yeah, we're looking into this. It might be an idea to go down this route instead. All that are like community orientated, because even at Comic Cons that are run by organizations, private organizations, you do still get a lot of people volunteering at them. So it's just making it fully volunteering, really. And it just makes sense. yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we ended up doing.
And it's a great idea. You know, it really brings the community together. Everybody volunteering as well. I mean, there's nobody arguing about who's getting paid more than the other person, and you know, it just works. It just works really well. So when it comes to the actual event, what's your role on event day? You know, I mean, obviously you found the CIC, but when it comes to actually running an event, what do you do there?
Yeah, so I'm obviously I'm one of the directors of the CIC, but on the event day I just event manage. So the event manager, my job's the easiest job because all I do really is get a bunch of talented people and get them all together. That's my job in a nutshell. That's all I really do. It's just dealing with an overview of everything. And then allowing them people that are good at it to crack on with stuff. Just crack on and do what you're good at.
I think you're selling yourself short there a bit, Allan. I think there's a little bit more involved.
I was just going to say that. I mean, on the day as well, if anybody's got any problems, it's going to be you that they come to. You know, I mean, any of the volunteers, obviously.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, we had a meeting the other day, and I described myself to that person as I'm the one who deals with the boring stuff, and it's like yeah. So when there's a risk assessment or whether there's an event safety plan to fill in or anything like that, you know, I'm the one who deals with that side of things, just really to allow the creative people to crack on with what they do and what they love doing. Because if you allow them to do the stuff they enjoy doing, they'll keep doing it. They'll keep doing it, and it's just as simple as that. It's just allow them to be who they are and what they like to do.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So, on top of running Community Comic Con C.I.C, you also have your own business that you take care of, which is your comic book frames.
Yeah.
Let's tell us a bit about that. I mean, where did the idea come from for that?
Do you want to say
we were talking about this earlier on, weren't we? So one of my friend's partners was doing a Comic Con at Preston, and I wouldn't be able to work out what year it was now. So we sort of went one Saturday, didn't really have anything to do, so we went just for the crack, really, didn't we? And at the time, Allan was doing decoupaging of like old furniture and things like that, and we sort of just came up with this idea, like, well, what if you did it on frames, and then we could like go around and do these things all the time, and you know, go to Comic Cons at the same time as obviously selling the frames. And it sort of just came out of a conversation which ended up with us sat around in the Guildhall in Preston watching the Comic Con go around with Spider-Man sat next to us and with a drink in our hands, putting the world to rights as you do, and sort of that sort of bored it, didn't it? That was where the idea came from. And then you did a couple of frames, didn't you, for family and for friends? And then we were like, oh yeah, it looks actually quite good. And then
so it was really going into charity shops, buying some old frames and old mirrors and stuff like that. So it wasn't just frames that we did. Yeah, it was mirrors and all sorts of furniture and stuff. And then our
first Comic Con, which was in Bolton, it was in an old church in Bolton. Wouldn't know the name of it now. With MSC events, and yeah, we just all different sorts of shapes and sizes of frames, and we've come obviously a long way since then. But that's where it all began.
Yeah.
Yeah, you certainly have. I mean, I've obviously got a couple of your frames, and they're phenomenal. They're absolutely brilliant, and the variety. I mean, out of all of the frames that you've ever made, have you got a favourite one? Is it a Star Wars one by any chance?
I don't know if yours is. I always come back to Doctor Strange framed, which was actually fairly early on Doctor Strange. But I'm like a massive Marvel geek, so that's where that comes from. But I also really like Benedict Cumberbatch, so that helps. And it was when Allan had started to realise that if he could tie in the image in the middle with the actual decoupage of the frame on the outside, that would look effective. And it was one of the first ones where he had really, really taken his time to think about the colour and tying it in. So it's still Doctor Strange for me that is probably my favourite. What's your favourite?
Mine's probably The Walking Dead. Walking Dead frame. Simply because Pollyanna McIntosh, who starred in Walking Dead, she's got one in her house. She came, I think it was Manchester. Manchester. We was at a Comic Con in Manchester, and at the end of the day, she came over and said, "Oh, somebody asked me to sign one of your frames of The Walking Dead. Can I buy one?" I said, "Well, no, you can have one if I can have a picture with you." So that was got a picture with her and give her the frame, and she said, "Oh, this is going up in my house and stuff." So
wow,
really tough. So that's probably
that's still your favourite one.
My fave, yeah. It's my fave probably because of that piece.
Yeah, and Eva's got one, hasn't she? I know Eva's on the second part of this, but Eva's got one, and she's gone around and met loads and loads of the cast, and she's got the frame, well, the picture inside the frame signed by loads and loads of the different Walking Dead.
Yeah, so again, Eva's in our committee as well, and that's how we knew her, because she was a customer to start with, and then became a friend, and now she's part of the our gang, if you will, and she's got one, and she got it signed by everybody, and it looks absolutely brilliant. Same with Dennis as well. Dennis is similar. He's actually today put up a post on his social medias because he's done his little wall, and he's put up his things because Dennis collects comics, you see, and he's put his comics inside there and stuff, and they look really cool when he does that. So yeah.
Well, Dennis and Eva are joining us on the next podcast, so hopefully we'll be able to talk to them about their favourite frames as well. And Kim, have you got any of the frames? And if you have, do you have a favourite, or have you seen?
I'm really sad to say that I don't own any, but I have seen them before Al and I kind of became friends and started working together. I've seen him at loads of conventions, and the Walking Dead stuff is my favourite because it's one of my favourite things of all time, the show and the comics. So I spotted one at Liverpool, probably, I can't remember, it was ages ago, and I was immediately like a moth to a flame. So I promise at some point purchase one of you.
Oh, well, maybe in Feb, on the 28th of Feb, maybe I might be able to give you one.
Ooh, let's see what happens on the 28th.
What's happening on the 28th of Feb?
Something special happening.
Yeah, we got any details on that?
Some horror thing by some people. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Would this be your horror thing?
Yeah, that'd be our horror. I'm trying to be coy, but it's not working.
Well, while we're on the subject, do you want to tell us a bit? I know we're diversing here, but do you want to digressing? Do you want to tell us a bit about that while we're on the subject of what's happening
absolutely.
on February?
Yeah, so what the guys are talking about is our own little horror convention based in Heywood. So it started off as Heywood Horror-Con, and then it was very quickly kind of fondly nicknamed by a couple of people as Horrorwood because of Heywood and horror, etc. So so we've done it 2 years running now, and we're due back on February the 28th for our third year. And it was born out of a love of horror movies and horror comics and horror shows, and similar to Allan and Hannah, Chris and I have done the convention circuit as customers and really enjoy the vibe of it, and we kind of thought there's nothing really like this in our town. There's a very famous popular big horror convention in Manchester. It's not a million miles away from us, but we felt like there's no kind of smaller community versions of this that are, perhaps a bit more accessible, a bit more affordable. So yeah, that's where it started from, really. And like I said, we're just in the throes of doing our third year now. I think it's something like 80 days or something like that until the next one, which has just come out of nowhere. So yes, and that's how it started. And I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of work, as I'm sure Allan will attest to, and we're doing stuff as a C.I.C, and we're planning and that. He was a bit more savvy than me because it's just me and Chris. We do everything. Whereas Allan was like, I want this to work, but I know I need more people.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll do it all on my own. I can do this. Yeah. So,
again, just saying that, I think that's what works really, really well, because when one of us is having a bad day, we can go on there, and within a couple of minutes, I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Because Paul's, made a funny joke or something. He's talking about his pet goldfish or something.
The infamous Bob.
Yeah, it's like that, where it can be very, very lonely running a convention by yourself, or within a small group. But because we're so large, when people are having down days, there's other people around that'll lift you back up and stuff.
And that's the key to it, I think, and that's one of the things I love about being a part of it, that everybody, their ideas all bounce off each other. And like you said, if someone has got an idea or something's going on, and even stuff like you've had a crappy day at work, nothing related to the convention, but you just kind of jump on the committee chat and be like, oh God, it's been one of those days, how's everyone doing? And like Allan said, within a few minutes everybody's replying and everybody's making each other laugh, and you do feel like you're part of a community. So the Community Comic Con is also like the community between the people that help to bring it together for the wider community. And I do think, not to overplay the word too much, but community is absolutely at the heart of everything that we've been doing so far, in my experience anyway.
Yeah. And we're looking forward, because, and again, we're going over to Kim's event at the end of Feb to have a stall, and it's my birthday.
It happens to be his birthday.
Happens to be on my birthday. So we're hoping. I think you've got Murder House Productions coming.
Yep. Yeah, I love those guys. Yeah, they'll be there. So we're gonna. There's a thing that they've started doing. They've done it the last two Horrorwoods, and that's kind of migrated into some of the other events that they do. The costume group, the scare acting group called Murder House Productions. They do a conga, and it's a conga of the most grotesque, horrendous creatures you'll ever see in your life, but they're all dancing and they've got music going and they're all having a laugh. And there's one of them in particular that wears fish flops, not flip flops. He has his fish flops on, so that's always really funny. So we were chatting a while back that seeing as it's Alan's birthday, we absolutely have to get a conga going again with the Murder House guys. And Allan, you've got to get on it. You've got to get on it.
Definitely. I mean, the guys from Murder House Production, they did the conga at Fleetwood Community Comic Con. So they led that. Obviously, we had Dean Michael from Black Lace, who actually sung his song, conga. As Murder House Production led the conga all around Mirren Gardens, and got some brilliant pictures from the Blackpool Gazette, who took some, like I say, amazing pictures of.
It has to be one of the Comic-Con highlights, absolutely.
Oh, definitely. I want like a surreal kind of, like if you kind of like we were sort of on the outside of it, just surveying and making sure everything was going okay. And then this sort of surreal moment where, like I say, you've got all these horror characters, but then there's also like Spider-Man's there, and Mario's there, and and they're all doing the conga, and Dean Michael's on the stage singing. That's just like. Yeah.
It sounds like a dream, doesn't it? It's like, I'm going to wake up any second.
I ate too much cheese before bed last night. What is going on? It was a highlight, sure.
If somebody wants to find your event, where's the best place to go? Do you have a website, or what's the company name?
Just troll the back streets of Heywood and you'll find us.
Follow the zombies.
Yeah. So there's two routes. Well, there's quite a lot of routes, but for tickets, there's a couple of two routes. So we use a ticket partner. We use Skiddle to distribute all the tickets. The first year I did it myself, all the tickets, literally printed and hand wrote all the envelopes for like 600 people, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. This is nonsense. So we started using like an event platform. So you can go directly to Skiddle and find us. You can search up for Horrorwood or Heywood HorrorCon and you'll find us. There's also an embedded ticket box on our own website. So if you go to www.distantscreams.co.uk, one of the first things you'll see is the ticket box, and you can find information about the event timings and all that kind of stuff on there. And we're on the old social medias as well. So Facebook, we have a Facebook page, we have a TikTok, we have an Instagram. Facebook seems to be, I don't know if it's just my age or what, but Facebook seems to be the place where we get the most kind of people interacting. And I think the TikToks and the Instagrams are for the young people. But we do have them. They are there. You can find us, but Facebook is your best bet. If you wanted to get in touch directly, you can just drop me a message and And I don't sleep or anything like that, so I can just reply at any point of the day or night.
Amazing. And I feel at this point we should also go back to Allan and Hannah and just say, do you have a website for your comic book frames? Because obviously, let's do a bit of promotion while we're at it. Where can we buy your frames, or where can we see the selection of frames you've got available?
We have a Facebook page, which is Comic Book Frames, just simply Comic Book Frames. And our website, which you can order all our frames, which we have about, it's over 220. I think we're on 230 different frames that you can pick from. And they're all available on our website out for delivery, which is comicbookframesuk.com. So, yeah, that's it. So, comicbookframes.com.
But it's too late to order for Christmas. So if you were thinking
too late to order for Christmas, yeah, that's gone. That's gone now. We put it up. We put the sign up. We always get some people going, but, and it's like, nope, we're on holiday now. New year, it'll get processed. You can still buy it. From our website. However,
you're not gonna get it.
We won't process it until we return in January.
5th of January.
Yeah, 5th of January.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair given everything that you've got to do throughout the year. You've had a busy year. I mean, that was one of the other things, Hannah. You work full time as well as running the comic book frames and helping out with the. You're also part of the Comic Con C.I.C. So how? I mean, how do you find the time to do all of this? Because
I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher by trade. Also on the SLT. So yeah, I can have some like mental work hours. Allan will attest to that for sure. But the Comic Con stuff for me is like my release. I have friends in our family that say to me like, "How are you going to Comic Cons at the weekend?" I'm like, how would I not be going to Comic Cons at the weekend? Because I can go and meet up with my friends, and we've got customer friends, and we've got trader friends, and we've got people that you meet that are my people, if that makes sense. So it's that relief. And I feel like I probably do least out of everybody for the Fleetwood Comic Con and the Community Comic Con stuff, but for me, it's using my expertise like everybody else. So my expertise really has been like on the safeguarding front, because obviously we've got lots of vulnerable people that attend these sorts of events. So I can use my expertise to sort of cast an eye over that. And I helped Allan with, that side of the risk assessment. And on the day, I use our experience of doing events to sort of lead that indoor area and be the go-to for the traders and that sort of thing. So my answer to is I have a busy life, but I wouldn't want, I'm going to sleep when I'm dead. So, I like being busy. Why wouldn't you want to be busy? Yeah. And it's a release. It's a socialisation.
And actually, when we're trading, it's not that difficult, is it?
No, we've done it for that many years now. I don't know how many years. 9 years? About?
Yeah, about 9-10 years. Wow.
Like, we don't even have to speak, and I don't mean that in a weird way. We don't even have to speak when we set up and close down now, because we've done it that many times that we just sort of work in partnership with each other. And like I say, we'll have a laugh and a joke as we do it, and like I say, we'll have trader friends come over and that sort of stuff. And it doesn't feel like work, because it's not really work. It's just an opportunity to meet some people and
chat away. I mean, we meet up as well, don't we?
Yeah, and we go out in the evenings for like meals with like say friends we've made, and at some of the bigger events that we do, like I'll go off and watch a panel. Like I went off and watched a Grey's Anatomy panel, and Grey's Anatomy is like my program. So for me, it's like, well, like there's those sorts of opportunities, and I love going off and running off and playing on like retro games and stuff like that. We like to go in the mornings when we set up and go and like play on Street Fighter and stuff, and I'm better, obviously. So yeah,
disagrees there.
Pinocchio. It's about 50-50.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I beat you every time.
No, you don't.
So on the weekends when you're not doing a Comic Con, do you just do nothing, or do you have like other things that you? Is it nice just to have a weekend of
go for a walk?
Go for a walk, and then tomorrow we're going to the Manchester markets. So.
Tomorrow we're going to Manchester markets, because another one of the committee members, Paul, he works on one of the Christmas markets at Manchester Market. So he works on one of the stores, doesn't he? So
it's an opportunity to go and see him.
So go and see him and
do some last minute Christmas shopping.
Last minute Christmas shopping. Are we supposed to have started yet? No. I mean, obviously, Christmas for you is probably one of the busier times in the build up to Christmas with the frames and the Comic Cons going on. Kim, I would imagine your busiest time is around the October Halloween period.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But what we try and kind of push as much as we can is that horror's not just for Halloween. That's like a little kind of strapline I've been trying to get out into the universe. So, we're horror fans all year round. It's not a seasonal thing for us. So people's interest in Halloweeny stuff around October obviously peaks. But you find that when you're talking to horror fans, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, and the Comic Con calendar that runs throughout the year, they're starting to get more and more of the kind of alternative traders and the kind of goth artists and stuff like that going on. So yeah, it seems to be kind of spreading out around the calendar, which is great because the more events that we can go to as fans and as customers that have got our people, like Hannah said, our kind of people there, then more's the better. So yeah, October's for me. I try and do less work at October because that's the time of year that I want to be going out. I've got young children, so they want to be going trick or treating, and there's school Halloween discos, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. So actually, we try and dial back a little bit. Apart from next Halloween, because we've decided to get married next Halloween, so that's going to be very busy.
Congratulations.
But not from a work point of view. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've been engaged for a few years now, so it was just one of them. Like, come on, we're doing this a lot. What's going on?
Oh, so romantic of you, Kim.
I know.
So romantic. Oh, we're doing this, yeah.
Would have believed
And on
the
Halloween,
level of soppiness. What was that? Sorry, Will.
I'm saying it's on Halloween as well, so
Yeah, it made sense. It made sense for us. So a kind of combined love of all things weird and spooky and horror was what brought Chris and I together in the first place. So it just makes perfect sense for us to pick that date. And then we've got the perfect excuse to throw a big Halloween bash every year, in the years to come. So yeah.
Yeah. And do the kids share your love for horror, or are they not quite so much?
Sometimes. So my son is 10 and my daughter is 14 and a half. The half is very important as a teenage girl.
Yes, of course.
So she's 14 and a half. She's very much a goth. She's very much into alternative music and things like that. So she's kind of adapted to what we're trying to do as a business really easily because she's into that kind of stuff anyway. My son, he sometimes he's into it. There's certain things like he's obsessed with this Five Nights at Freddy's, this FNAF that everybody loves. So and that's kind of like a horror sort of jump scare kind of game franchise, isn't it? So he's never played the games, but he somehow knows the entire lore of everything that's ever existed in them, and he loves them. So he's kind of into that. So that's his level. But there's been times where we've been in the middle of getting ready for a big event, and we've been kind of to and froing stuff from our storage unit and offices to home to put in the van and things like that. And there's certain items that have come into the house, and he's not been too pleased about them being there. So we've got a Georgie mannequin from It. So we've got the Georgie mannequin with the yellow raincoat and a little red balloon. And I was just bringing stuff in the house, and I've kind of stacked him up in the corner facing the wall with a load of other stuff. Not even thinking it. To me, it's normal. I don't even think about it. And Oscar came home from school and he's like, well, I am never going in the living room ever again. So yeah, he's kind of he's got his own little level, but obviously he's 10 years old, so some of the stuff we do is not for him really.
Yeah,
I'd love to be your neighbour to see what your neighbour's like curtain twitching, like she's at it again. She's at it again. What she's bringing in this time.
Well, it's funny because my dad and his wife live about 4 doors down from us, so we get together quite regularly. We're going down there tonight for our kind of joint birthdays, but Chris's birthday's Monday, mine was a couple of weeks ago, so we've got a few family birthdays in December, so we try and cram them all onto one date that everybody's not working. So tonight's that night for us. So we'll be going down to my dad's, and we'll take a couple of spare dining chairs down so that there's room for everyone to sit. And there's like this in-joke between us that the neighbours must think, we're carrying chairs up and down, and she's carrying wine down to that number 40. And then some nights it's like, she's carrying a corpse, or she's got what is that? What's that severed limb that she's carrying? What is going on? So it can be interesting being one of our neighbours, I should imagine.
Yeah. Has anybody ever phoned the police and reported you for any kind of
Not quite, but I did have to explain. They were doing routine traffic stops in Heywood a few months ago, and we had a boot full of limbs that we took to an
That's
event,
exactly.
and we hadn't had a chance to kind of unload to the unit yet. So a standard traffic stop turned into a bit of a funny interaction explaining, and I literally had to kind of waggle them at their rubber. They're not real, it's like, in front of a car park full of people that were also wondering why they've been stopped. So yeah, it can be entertaining on our side of things for sure.
Certainly sounds it. So in terms of the events that we had this year, which was the Fleetwood Community Comic Con, we're going back to that. How did you all find it went? I mean, we had some amazing feedback. All the people that attended absolutely loved it. The feedback was phenomenal. But in terms of what you did, I mean, for you, Kim, you were outside with doing the horror side of things. You had a lot of the cosplayers there. I mean, obviously, cosplayers make up like they are the core of Comic Cons because, if there wasn't for cosplayers. How did you get any feedback from the cosplayers that attended?
Yeah, so we were dealing mostly with the horror theme stuff, like you said. So Murder House had a stall outside, so we were kind of looking after them as well. But we interacted with a lot of the cosplayers that came through the zombie walkthrough. And just to digress slightly, the highlight for me was a Batman cosplayer, a big guy. I don't know who he was, but he was a big guy. And he came through the zombie walkthrough. A zombie jumped out and tried to scare him, and he just screamed "Justice" in the zombie's face. It's for me as a Batman fan, as well as it was the absolute highlight of the year. It was hilarious. But yeah, a lot of the cosplayers we spoke to that kind of went through the walkthrough and were milling around outside and getting involved in stuff out there. The feedback was amazing, and everybody that I had any interaction with said, what a well-organised, great atmosphere. They didn't feel apprehensive about anything. Everything was where it should be, when it should be. And I didn't get a single bit of any kind of, oh, this isn't very good, because you always get that, though. You always get people like, oh, it's not as good as I thought it would be and all that sort of stuff. I don't remember hearing any of that. And the cosplayers, I felt like they were really looked after, because we, like you said, they're the heart of any event like that. And so I think Allan put quite a lot in place to make sure that they felt that they were truly a part of the event as a whole, and they weren't just there as like set dressing, and that was the vibe that I got, that all the cosplayers were really happy and would join us on any future ventures.
Yeah, so the Batman was from the Masquerade cosplay group.
He was incredible.
Yeah, he was. We actually asked him at last minute, could he do the cosplay dance-off and be the judge for it, and he was happy enough to get involved and do that. And he was brilliant. But the Masquerade cosplay group, absolutely brilliant little cosplay group that's based in Lancashire. I think they're based around the Accrington area, but they travel all the way over into Yorkshire and stuff. And they helped us out actually to promote Fleetwood Community Comic Con a year before it actually happened as well. Parade. So they really believed in us from the parade. So we had them come down there. So it was only definitely they were the first cosplay group that we said, do you want to come again?
Wow.
And there was definitely. They're brilliant. We also had the Moss Estley Misfits come over from Yorkshire as their cosplayers and stuff, as official cosplayers. We had, so there was others, lots more. And I mean, we have Sav and James and stuff who are heavily involved in everything that we do. And Ali, who did our cosplay competition. She was the judge. She was the host. So we do get a lot of people that just come in and give the time up completely for free and stuff like that. So
Sav and James were the Spider-Men that were in the paper, were they? Was that them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Sav and James usually do most of our promotional stuff because they're local and they just believe in what we're doing. I think Sav's on the next podcast, I think, or the one that's I think it's going to be. He
will be on the next one.
Yeah. So he's a brilliant cosplayer, and James is brilliant. Whenever you ring him up and say, James, we've got this date, can you do something? And he's like, yep, I can do that. and stuff. And they all do a number of different cosplays as well. So you're not just getting one person. You know, you're getting like 10 characters with that one person. So whenever you need something.
We worked with James, and we met him through the C.I.C, and we worked with James not last Halloween, the Halloween before. We were doing some promotional stuff at an alternative market in Stockport, and he just kind of messaged and was like, do you need anyone? So he was Ghostface. He does a really good Ghostface, and so he came down and helped out with that. And he was great. He got himself on the train from Blackpool to Stockport. There was no moaning, the traffic this, like, he just got on with it, and he was brilliant. And he was an absolute hit with everyone. And he's been in touch about Horrorwood as well. And these are all people that we've met through the C.I.C and the greater kind of Comic-Con community. And the love and the passion that people have to try and help in any way that they can it's just awesome. And I don't think you get that in any other kind of industry, not in my experience anyway, where people are just so willing to give up their time for something that they really enjoy. Yeah,
which makes it feel like not work, really. It doesn't feel like work, because you can tell people are enjoying it and people are loving it. So you're happy to give your time up. You don't expect anything in return. I think that's the great thing about the community side of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely agree with that.
And what feedback did you get from the traders, Alan and Hannah? Was it you that dealt with the traders? Or?
Yeah, I sort of did the indoor manager on the day, and they all seemed really happy. Towards the end of the day, I went around with a box of lollipops, because it was, of course, National Lollipop Day. If you remember, it was National Lollipop Day, wasn't it? And used that sort of an opportunity to go like, "Oh, have you enjoyed the day?" And everybody was like, "Yeah, loved it." Like Kim said before, really organised, good vibe. And like lots of people that are really keen to be involved in future events that Community Comic Con run, for sure. And same for the guests that were there. Obviously buying stuff. Some of those people had never been to a Comic Con before, and all of a sudden, like you say, it like it did for us back then, and when we went to Preston that first time, opens doors of like, actually, wait a minute, these events are an opportunity to get all that geeky, if you want to use that word, that geeky stuff that I like.
For us though, I think being traders ourselves, I think we knew what other traders wanted as well. So we knew they want the space, to breathe.
And we limited the amount of traders that did the same thing. We made sure that everybody was like a unique offer type of thing. And I think traders had recognised that and appreciated that for sure as well.
Yeah, it's just what you want, because I was reading a post on Facebook yesterday about somebody who'd set up a stall and they were selling wax melts, which is popular thing to sell, and they'd had a message off the organizer saying, "Oh, we've got somebody doing wax melts, so we got." Anyway, they emailed back a few days later saying, "Oh, come along, you coming to our event?" Because under the assumption that the other wax melt company wasn't coming. And when she got there, she was directly opposite the other wax melt company. And she didn't sell anything, and she ended up leaving halfway through the day, because obviously as people were coming in, the other wax melt company was kind of first on the trek around. And she didn't do anything, and she ended up just like she was 5 months pregnant, and she travelled, like half an hour and set everything up. So I think having unique vendors is definitely one of the key things when it comes to any Comic Con or any event, really. Having unique vendors is definitely something that needs to be taken into account.
Because it's not fair as well. I mean, we had a number of different vendors apply to come, and we just sent emails back saying, we've got somebody who's already doing this, and it's not fair on them, and it's not fair on you neither, because all you're doing is splitting your profits before you even start.
And there's nothing worse than going into an event and it just being full of tables of the same thing. It's like, you go to the first one, you go to a couple more after that, and then you're like, I've seen enough now. It's just tables of the same. It's no fun. It's no fun.
Yeah, and there's no sustainability in the event that you're running, because them traders won't come back again. So you're just shooting yourself in the foot for the long term.
So obviously we had the bad news that next year's event is not going ahead.
No, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it just can't, because we were told very late on, even after we've organised a lot of things, that, we haven't got one of the main rooms that we used, the waterfront room, wasn't available to us. In that room, we had the board game in, the workshops, retro games. We was going to have the art station in there, so it's
too much of an activity loss, like I say, part of this whole C.I.C idea is that it's giving people free activities and things to do, and therefore to have all of those activities not possible,
just wiped out completely. Because what people, with the feedback we were getting, is that there's so much to do and stuff. There's we're not just walking around a market store.
Exactly. Yeah, looking at vendors and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there was loads to do, and that was one of the biggest things that people were feeding back to us. So to have most of that disappear completely, it's and still pay the same amount, it's just, it was a no go. We'd rather put on something brilliant, put on something that we're proud of, than just go, we'll just put that'll do. We don't have a that'll do attitude.
No,
none of us. So.
It's all or nothing, definitely.
Yeah. We're all in or nothing, and that's what it is.
It has to be that way, because you can't tout yourself as for the community, for the benefit of the community, when at the first opportunity you just cut all the community stuff and go, it doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that, does it? And I've seen a few posts on Facebook, and there are a few people that clearly just don't understand the overall goal of what the C.I.C is about. To them, it's a minor inconvenience not having that one room, and maybe you could argue that, but like Allan and Hannah have said, to lose all those free activities, which was kind of the point, to give people something in the local area, something fun and free to do, to lose the ability to do those, well, then you're no longer what you set out to be, and you're no longer what people have kind of been drawn to you for. So it had to be, didn't it? And we back and forth, didn't we, as a committee, and trying to find ways around it and trying to find options. But ultimately, I feel like the decision that was made was the right one for us and for the people that are now following us and fans of the C.I.C, I think.
Definitely. I mean, there was suggestion of like moving it to somewhere else, but we've got a big problem with that. Is our grant was for the Wyre area. There isn't a bigger venue than Marine Hall in Wyre, and it's it was a squeeze for the last one we did. So there was a point where we was hitting capacity, and and that's our first event. Imagine our second event, and then going smaller and having a less capacity that can get in. It's just not going to work. Just the numbers don't add up. So really gutted. Who knows what will happen in 2027? We might end up somewhere else. We can extend to wherever we want, really. I mean, we've got committee members that live in Scotland, Manchester, Liverpool, Catterick. We've got them who live all over the country. So we can go anywhere with what we'd like, really. So the world's our oyster.
And have we got any plans for 2026?
2026, we're going to be present. We're going to be, obviously, I don't think we've got room for a Comic Con, although we are looking at a number of venues. We're still looking. We're doing one on Monday as well, just to see if it's possible.
Something else could work.
But if it's not, we'll be involved in other events. We'll be involved in people's events and stuff. We'll be there. And we'll be definitely around on social media, shining the light on all the creative people within the Comic-Con industry. We'll be lifting them up and putting them on that platform and shouting and screaming for them and telling people here they are and stuff. That's traders, cosplayers, you name it. Anybody who's involved in the Comic-Con community and doing it for free, we'll be shouting from the rooftops about them. We do also want to get involved in more clubs, because obviously things like, will you run the Thornton Cleveley's board game club?
I do,
yes.
Hence all the board games in the background.
So we want to do more things like that, more like groups and clubs and help them, even if it's just helping them with the marketing and letting people know they're there, you know, or supporting them however we can, really, however we can, and maybe setting up new ones and stuff. Loads of ideas, loads of stuff. So we won't be disappearing, that's for sure.
No, and we've also got the podcast. I mean, how do you envisage that going in the future? How do you know what is your ultimate goal for the podcast? Do you see us getting?
Well, I think it'll be a success, but Kim is the podcast and radio queen.
No pressure.
so she'll tell you whether it'll be a success or not, because she's always on one. So
always on one, or always on a radio show, because I'm always on one. Yeah, I think it's going to be great, because I personally listen to a lot of podcasts, and this is the sort of stuff that I will happily have on while I'm doing other things, like doing my admin and stuff. And it's nice to just have that there to listen to other people's input and other people's views on things. I think, and I think the team itself is a great team. We all get on really well. There's a lot of banter, isn't there? So it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. There's going to be insights from different kind of levels and different areas. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think once people get to hear about it, they'll enjoy listening to it.
Good. Let's hope so. I mean, if you are listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, it is also on Spotify. And if you're listening on Spotify, it is also on YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you catch us on all the platforms. You know, we're not just an audio podcast. We are putting the videos online as well on as many places.
We're everywhere.
We are. We're going to be flooding your streams. I think that just about wraps it up, because we were trying to keep it to an hour. We don't want to go on too long. I had so many questions that we've not had time to ask, but going forward, we'll be bringing back everybody onto the future podcasts. So I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to ask those questions. Our next one is going to include some more of the directors and committee members from Community Comic Con. So make sure you come back to listen to that one. And you three are also welcome to join us. Sorry?
They're the riff-raff ones.
The riff-raff, yeah.
They're the ones who are always causing trouble.
We'll just unlock the cage for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, let them out for a bit. There you go. Get back in your cage now.
Yeah. Well, you three are more than welcome to come back onto that one as well, even if you just sit there and listen. You know, it'll be good to get as many of us onto all of them as possible. But yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Take care, everyone.
Bye. And there we go.